Alrighty. We're stream. Search Race Spec stream on audio. Yep, it is working. Good. Notes up. Drivers not many, but whatever. It will be enough. Oh.
This is something, I guess. I don't know.
It's something. Suppose the silver lining is we've only got 2 more weeks to go. And then we can look forward to the final month of the year. To think we've already come up to this point. Really hasn't felt like a year, but here we are.
Well, knowing the game cycle feels like an eternity.
Jordan Arnold. That's the other driver. Alright. 13 it is then. 13. Get the ready up signal soon. As soon as Arnold swaps himself into a car. Williams, fair enough. Pakistani. Haven't seen a Pakistani race in some time. Alright, when the timer hits 0, or everybody readies up, start up as per normal. Hello everyone and welcome to round 14 of the Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your lead commentator for this event, and for tonight we'll be competing at Yas Marina Circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Constructed in 2009 and designed by track-making Supremo Herman Tilke, Yas Marina has gained a reputation of being one of the worst and least respected racetracks on the Formula One calendar. Outside of the races that have championship significance, the racing we tend to have here is mediocre at best. Thanks to the contract it has with Formula One, the circuit won't be disappearing anytime soon. But in 2022, an effort was made to redesign the racetrack into a more simplified form to try and improve the circuit's racing quality. It now measures up at 5.28 kilometers. It consists of 16 corners and 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of turn 6 and into the long left-hand sweeper of turn 9. The hairpin of turn 5 and the 90-degree right-hander of turn 12 may also provide passing opportunities, but for the most part, overtaking will be done in the DRS zones. Now, before we focus on this here qualifying session, there is a little bit of news to go through first from the previous race in Barcelona. There were no incident reports submitted in by the drivers last week. As a result, the final finishing positions from that race remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it is Jack Humphreys who leads the way on 341 points. He has secured the championship, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he has 73.
Yeah, he claimed it at Vegas.
That's right. CZK in P2, 253 points, 88 behind. He's got a decent margin over Big Al in P3, 66 points behind CZK on 187. Sebastian Spicer in P4 on 146. And Pozzi rounds out the top 5 on 135. In the team's championship, it's still on mathematically speaking, but Mercedes-AMG have a huge advantage. They're on 406 points, with Alfa Romeo and P2 on 320, so 86 points separating the top two. The mathematic works out. If Alfa Romeo doesn't outscore Mercedes-Benz by 13 points or more, Mercedes will secure the team's championship for this season. McLaren are next on 313 points. Both cars are here, so perhaps mathematically speaking, McLaren can bring themselves into contention. AlphaTauri are next on 266 points, with Red Bull Racing rounding out the top 5 on 207. But that's pretty much it in terms of the news we need to look at. Got my co-commentator alongside me tonight, who is once again KD1997. KD, we've seen this racetrack for many seasons now. On occasion we've seen a good race here and there, but for the most part the racing tends to be pretty mediocre.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't like Abu Dhabi one bit, even with the whole configuration, new configuration. Yes, it has provided the least better overtaking, but it's still Abu Dhabi. It's just not a good racetrack. Not inspiring, nothing exciting about whatsoever. It's just mediocre. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe this year, because we are going to have the real life race a few hours from now, perhaps the 2023 edition might prove to be an interesting one. Perhaps. Might be the first ever in Abu Dhabi's history. But, yeah, there's just something about the racetrack, isn't it? Sort of in its DNA, so to speak. It's just destined to be a not great circuit.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is that about Abu Dhabi is that we've had dramatic moments, of course. I mean, not that Hamilton fans would love to talk about 2021 of all years, but no. Apart from like certain dramas, it's just nothing really that is just significant about it. Yeah, there's no character to it. I just feel like.
Yeah, I agree. It's sort of this rich playboy racetrack. It's just meant to attract rich people, try and turn a buck, so to speak. It's a shame, really. This is one of the more expensive racetracks ever created. The fact that it's so poorly received is a shame. For a track this expensive, it really should be next level, but it just isn't. Let's see. We got Mr. Stevenson, who set the first proper benchmark of the session, a 22.7. Got other drivers out on track on intermediate tyres just to try and give themselves an idea of how the setup is feeling. Of course, I don't think we'll be seeing any more use of those intermediate tyres throughout the rest of this race session as Spicy jumps to the top. Very rare. It does happen though, it is possible, but it's very rare to see rain here.
Yeah, it's yeah, there's only a couple areas I know in the Middle East that you can have some wet weather race, well, at least some rain, I should say. Abu Dhabi, yes, as you said, is something you've seen before. Jeddah I have seen before as well, but like we've said, it's very rare to see it in the Middle East, pretty much.
Mr. Jordan Arnold on an outlap. He's going to get out of the way of Mr. Stevenson here, who I believe is on an in-lap. Might ride on board with the reserve driver, give you a tour of this 5.2 kilometre 16 turn racetrack. Onto the main straightaway we go to begin the flying lap down towards turn 1. We're braking at the 100 metre board, down to 5th gear, clip the apex, back on the power. The back end steps out, but he controls it well. Into the S section, turns 2, 3, and then the left of turn 4. This completes the first sector. Up towards turn 5. Definitely a potential overtaking spot through here. Need to be nice and committed under brakes to try and pull that off. Onto this back straightaway. We'll open DRS and then up towards turn 6. One of the better overtaking spots on the racetrack. We're braking at the 100 metre board. Down to 3rd gear, missing the apex. As we go through turn 6, round turn 7, then into the small left-hand kink of turn 8. We'll open DRS again and then up towards the long left sweeper. That is turn 9. braking hard again, bringing it down to 5th gear, getting back on the power, and I think he's just bailed on the lap.
Yeah, that lap did look quite messy, didn't it? Especially after the first corner, which is probably what makes up the first sector, obviously, because it's just one meme speak corner and then the rest are just flat.
Matt Plevy out on track right now. Same with CZK. So, got a couple of drivers out here getting ready to set their first flying laps of the session. Bags Liddell still at the top of the board. His teammate just behind him, P2. So currently it's an AlphaTauri 1-2. Better get used to that name change as well, KD. That's coming for 2024. Saying goodbye to AlphaTauri.
Oh yeah, what is it again? A Red Bull Hulkos, I think it's called?
I have no idea. We'll find out officially next year.
Yeah, something weird.
Alright, CZK, let's see what you can do then. Around the final corner, onto the main straight. We'll begin the flying lap down towards turn 1. Again, we'll be braking it around the 100-meter board. He takes it out, actually. Hits the apex. Nice and tidy through the first corner. Round turn 2. Up the hill and round turn 3. Hugging the inside line. Then down the hill, round turn 4. Up towards the hairpin at 5. Braking hard, down to 3rd gear. Clip the apex, back on the power. Using plenty of curb on the outside. The open DRS. Head up towards turn 6. Shifting into top gear. Building up to a speed of 320 kilometers an hour. We'll hit the brakes hard. Drag it all the way down to 3rd gear. Hit the apex at 6. Round turn 7. And up towards turn 8. This little left-hand kink will open DRS. Hug the inside line. All the way around this bench straightaway. We head into the left-hand sweeper. That is turn 9. Down to 4th gear. Back on the power. Nice and tidy out of the sweeper. Using the outside curve. Round turn 10. Round turn 11. And into turn 12. Big braking zone here. Around turn 13. Underneath the hotel. Then turn 14. 2 corners remain. Up to 5th gear. 6th gear. Round turn 15. Then up towards the final corner. Turn 16. Round it he goes onto the main straight. And it's provisional pole position for CZK, a 21.9.
Yeah, it's a very good lap, indeed. First driver to get into the 21s, indeed.
Still got plenty of time left in the session as well. Plenty of time for the track to evolve. I have been informed as well. It does evolve quite quickly, particularly in the race, from what I've heard.
Yeah, that is true. The track evolution is something quite noticeable around Abu Dhabi, that is for sure, once you progress more into the session.
Polo Pepsi jumps up to 4th position with a 22.6. ACW crosses the line. There's a 22.8. Got Pato and Arnold out on track. We've got Roscoe Arm getting a flying lap. We still have the Vegas livery. Hallelujah. It does look fantastic. Under lights here at Yas Marina, as it did over in Las Vegas. Roscoe making his way into the hairpin at turn 5. Come out in 3rd gear using plenty of that outside curb. He'll open DRS as Arnold crashes out.
That's in turn 1 he did that at.
Yes, he's lost it out of the opening corner. Thrown it into the inside wall. So Arnold, he'll be starting towards the back then. Not that it's the worst situation in the world to be starting from 13th on the grid. But still, there will be a bit of work to do to claw your way up through the order. Now, we've got both Bags and Spicy out on track doing flying laps. Liddell with a 22.1. Spicy's teammate with a 22.3. Liddell making his way up towards the middle sector split. He has to improve by about 2.5 tenths to try and take provisional pole back. It's currently up by 1.5 tenths. Spicy has bailed, I believe. He's down by 4 tenths. So it's down to Bags for the moment with under 7 minutes left in qualifying.
Gotta get the hotel correct. It's a bit of a tricky section Or yellow flag, that's just for cars getting ready, I assume. 2 more corners to go, really fast. Be careful, Yas Marina around the final corner, up towards the line for him. Actually, he lost time, it seemed. Yep. Lost about 2/10 on that lap.
Yeah, overall, he was up by 1/10.5 heading into that sector, so either he was properly impeded by that Aston Martin going into pit lane, or something else. I didn't really pick up a big mistake from Bags on that lap. I was a bit cautious about that Aston Martin because I wasn't really sure what it was going to do. But, yeah, a shame for Bags. He was on a decent run there up until that final sector. Big Al making his way through 6 and 7. Make his way around the little kink of turn 8. Opens DRS. Heads down towards turn 9. What will the clock say to the middle sector? It says up by 2/10 almost. With that kind of improvement, he can jump up to 4th. If he can find even more time, might even jump up into the top 3. Currently 3rd's being occupied by Spicy still. Big Al underneath the hotel here. Have to deal with the negative camber at the apex of both corners. You have the road pushing the car away from the natural racing line. You have to stay fully committed and hug that inside line at both apexes. As Big Al goes to 4th. 22.4 is the time he's done. Not quite good enough for a top 3 result at the moment. Still got time left though.
Yep, about 5 minutes to go. Of course, they're in qualifying. Pato, I think, is just out of time there. 22.777 there.
Well, bad effort considering what we've seen from Pato in recent races.
In car number 7. It's 7 everywhere for the Mercedes driver.
7 heaven for GeForce Pato. Alright, Mr. ACW. He has informed me he's just come back from schoolies. So that explains why he's 9/10 off the pace. Because he's still recovering. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's what he told me as well. So
onto the main straight. Begins this flying lap down towards turn 1. Braking hard down to 5th gear. Well, he kind of missed the exit there by a little bit. Maybe he's seeing double out there. Who knows? And the clock reflects it, KD.
Yeah. About over 34 thousandths off. But still could probably find more time to recover in this middle sector.
I agree. Needs to try and nail this double hairpin chicane complex thing. Oh, the 100-meter board's gone.
It is gone. Oh, that might have caught ACW off guard as a matter of fact. Maybe. We did cut the corner.
That's going to be real not fun for everyone. No racing line, so you're going to be properly lost heading into that braking zone. CZK, he's down by 1/10.5. ACW's invalidated his run, so that's him. That's it for him for now. Got 2.5, or just under 3 minutes actually. So I'm not sure what he's going to do. Is he going to go back in? Yeah.
I'm sure he will. Yeah, that's a valid braking board though for that area because you really need it for a circuit like Abu Dhabi.
There is a curb change that kind of sits where the 100-meter board is. Like if you have to pay really close attention. But initially the curb's flat, but then you see a slight change in how the curbing's textured, and at that very moment, that's roughly where the 100-meter board should be. So if you pay really close attention, you can pick up kind of where you need to brake. But in saying that, you have to pick that up while entering this corner at over 320 kilometers an hour. And if you miss by a little bit, then you're missing turn 6 by a lot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I'd be curious to know what will be done of that because, yeah, missing braking boards are not fun. And it's something I really don't like to see, personally, because I use no racing line. In F1, you kind of need those braking boards. They're very vital for achieving lap time and achieving consistency. Alrighty then, I Contrast will be the first driver to attempt a final flying lap. We do have CZK circulating. I'll keep an eye on him, see if he actually improves. No, he's gone back in.
Yeah, he was just orderly for a bit.
So that's it. That's the benchmark for everyone else out on track to try and beat. I Contrast is up by 27 thousandths of a second. Stevenson didn't quite pick up what he's done to the first sector. He's making his way out of turn 5 and onto the back straight. Got T-Mac beginning a flying lap. Ooh.
He's 2 tenths up.
Alright, so he's looking at a potential top 5 at the moment, but everyone will be finding lap time right now. The track evolving as it is. Up towards the middle sector split for Contrast. What will the clock say for the Aston Martin driver? It says he's up by a tenth. What about Stevenson? Up by just over 2 tenths. So again, still looking at that top 5. Needs to find more time here through the final sector. We've got some of the front runners out circulating. We've got Pato making his way through turn 4. Got Apollo making his way through the S's. Got Al heading around the hairpin at turn 5. He's up by 33 thousandths to the first sector. Spicy's making his way towards the middle sector split. And Bags Liddell heading up towards the first sector split. Clock says he's down by 2.5 tenths. That might be qualifying done for Bags. Stevenson goes to 4th.
Lap over Stevenson as well to get into the top 5. Al, meanwhile, is up by 33 thousandths. I think you said that, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll be curious to see what he can do to the middle sector. We've got Spicy circulating as well, but he's down. Al's up by just over a tenth, but he needs to find more time. T-Mac jumps up to P6. He's only a few thousandths of his teammate. So solid qualifying so far for McLaren. Spicy crosses the line and does not improve. He stays 3rd. What about Big Al? McLaren driver has got 2 corners left. Turns 15 and 16. Braking hard. Down to 4th gear. Back on the power. Up towards the line. It's good enough for P2. A 22.0. What about everyone else? Pato.
P4.
Wow.
Yep, and Apollo takes that back. He was up by 4 tenths actually on that last bit.
Matt Plevy up towards the line now for him. He sets a 22.5. He improves by a little bit. What about ACW? Good enough for P8. A 22.413. The time he set. By contrast, he's done with qualifying. So that's it. It's CZK who will start from pole position then for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The only driver, KD, in the 21s.
Yeah. Oh, good lap indeed. But very close field as well, from what we can see. 1.1 seconds separating the top 12. If you exclude Roscoe, though, it's 7.5 tenths between P1 and 11.
Yeah, very tight indeed. Shows you with the simplified layout, we get a more competitive qualifying session. So I'm quite pleased with how competitive this turned out to be. The CZK, I imagine he's pretty happy with that. He couldn't put a final run together, but the run he did in the middle of the session was good enough to stick him at the very front of the field. Big Al, well, I'm sure he'd just be hopefully starting on the front row. Alright. Move through here and have a look at the final results screen from qualifying. CZK will start from pole position by just over 1/10 of a second to Big Al and P2. Bags Liddell will start 3rd, followed by Apollo Pepsi. G-Force Pato, P5 in the Mercedes, followed by Spicy P6. Then we have Stevenson, ACW, T-Mac, Plevy, Contrast, Roscoe will start from P12. And Mr. Arnold here crashing out during qualifying, losing control at turn 1. He'll start at the back in P13. Accidentally pushed a button. Don't know what button I pressed, but I pushed a button.
Good thing it's on a self-destruct button, I guess.
Thank Christ for that.
Although we probably wish that would be more under this circuit, but it isn't.
Hey, look, if somehow by some magic that this track disappeared, I don't think many people will be complaining.
Oh no, of course not.
And look, maybe its inclusion on the calendar is warranted, but as the final round, it just irks me the wrong way. It's like, to end the season, you want to end it on the highest of highs, and in years past, we've done pretty good at that. You know, picking tracks like Interlagos, like Suzuka, hell, even Watkins Glen has hosted a number of season finales back in the 70s and 60s. You know, we tend to pick pretty well. And hey, over in my neck of the woods at the Adelaide Street Circuit for a number of years, developed some interesting racing. Here at Abu Dhabi, though, it's just sort of like we've gone through this entire year. It's been absolutely fantastic, and then here we are, the season finale, and there's nothing to be excited about because we know damn well what the race is going to be. Thankfully, in the virtual world, the racing tends to be a lot better. It's just a shame we only have 13 cars tonight. But that's kind of what the attendance has been like in recent weeks. Not great.
Yeah. It's been like that for probably a few leagues that you've commentated, at least.
Yeah, there's a good reason why there hasn't been many Tier 1 streams as of late for Pacific Series. It's a shame too, because the racing in Pacific Tier 1 has been unreal. It's been incredibly competitive. It's a real shame. Alright, on with the show. We're underway here at Yas Marina. It's a nice start from the front row. We head down towards turn 1. It's CZK who leads the field. Bit of a battle on for P4. Apollo wins that fight. Collision! Oh my word, how did that not result in a massive accident between Liddell and Apollo there? Through turn 1, somehow they kept it out of the barriers as we head down towards turn 5, the hairpin. Apollo having a look down the inside, not committing to a move. Down the inside goes T-Mac in the McLaren as they exit too wide, heading on to the back straight away. KD, how the hell was there not an accident?
Don't know, especially the fact that turn 1 tends to be a bit of a tricky corner. Meanwhile, we've got a bit of shuffling in the midfield there. Abertari, Mercedes battling out here. That's spicy in by Pato. Pato also battling Liddell. Liddell only stays behind, at least for now, as they make their way down the second straight.
Stevenson close, but not quite close enough. Apollo fast. He really fast in that Alpine. Wants to try and take Liddell. Try and do it, hopefully without making contact. Like what happened at turn 1. As we head down into turn 12. Everyone bunching up, but keeping just enough distance between each other to not make contact. That's good to see. But, well, we had a recipe for disaster on that opening lap. But luckily, and credit to the skill of the drivers, we're all still running.
Yeah, still running all in one piece after the first lap. Everyone on the... I don't nearly didn't there. But yeah, no, everyone on the hards except for, as the man that I just spoke about, Pato. He's on the medium compound tire.
Yeah, this is something that Prezzo F1, the drivers champion, recently crowned drivers champion of, I believe, Open Tier 1 and Pacific Tier 2, if I'm not mistaken, informed me that the ideal strat to do around this place is to try and start on the hard tyre and stretch them out for as long as you need to, and then bolt on the mediums and absolutely send it at the end of the race. Because of how this track evolves, the track really ramps up in the second half of the race, so you want to be on a grippier tyre like the mediums so you can take full advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. All Pato needs to do is get a move on though, because he's losing touch to the top 3. Ideally, you need to get towards the front and build a gap as best you can. Right now, not really succeeding that. Speaking of gaps, we see gaps starting to build, too.
Yeah, the gaps towards the front have started to spread. We've got CZK, who's got 1.5 seconds over Al. who in turn almost has 1.5 seconds over Spicy. So Pato, he might have pace, but he's unable to pass the AlphaTauri in front. It's sort of credit to how difficult it is to try and overtake around here without DRS. It'll be substantially easier now with DRS enabled, thanks to the fact Spicy won't have any DRS assistance. So Pato should be able to breeze on by. But now he has to make use of those tyres and try and catch up to Al in P2.
Yeah, absolutely. Al, though, moving touch to CZK as well. Gap right now 1.8 seconds. Pato, Spicy Salami, having a bit of scuffle there. Pato stays P3, but goes way too deep there into turn 6. That definitely will open the door for Spicy to try and make a run on Merck into turn 9.
And here comes Spicy. Will he go for the pass or will he stay behind? It looks like he's staying behind. Doesn't want to try and pass. His teammates having a look round the outside. Can't quite get it done. Stays in P5.
It looked like he was trying to commit and then he half-assed it a little bit. To me. I don't know.
Maybe just to try and avoid contact with his teammate at corner entry, because it seemed like Spicy backed off heading into the sweeper, so maybe Bags drew alongside.
Oh, Polo nearly ran to the back of Bags, speaking of that, at the final corner, and that's cost him a bit there. Well, almost did actually. I thought Blake Stevenson would have capitalized that opportunity. Stays behind. But yeah, nearly ran to the back of the AlphaTauri.
Nice on train of cars here from P3 all the way down to P13, so 11 cars all lined up. Line astern. Now Spicy, considering what he did a lap earlier, I don't think he'll go for the move. I think he will just stay behind. So he closes in, pulls to the inside. And I think the reason why he would do that is to try and avoid making contact with the car in front. Just in case if the car in front broke a little bit earlier than Spicy anticipated. Additionally too, yeah, with the second DRS zone. Just power on through. Having a look down the inside as well as Bags Liddell. As we head around the turn 9 sweeper. Oh, gee whiz.
That somehow didn't end up worse than what it could have been.
That curb is nasty, isn't it, at the exit of 9?
Yeah, if you use all of it, yeah, the car tends to bottom out and yeah, it can really throw you into the barriers. If you join the yacht club on the right hand side, pretty much.
All the expensive yachts that no one can afford. It's very F1. Very, very F1. Tell you what, that's a nice camera angle looking up through the S's, watching the cars fly through. It's probably the most intriguing part of the racetrack, that S section. It's very sneakily tricky, that place is, particularly in older games. That used to be a real notorious place for losing the car.
Yeah, it did, especially if you were on worn tires too. It tended to be a really, really tricky area to negotiate.
You'll see cars coming through turn 3 in particular, and the back end can just sort of almost magically step out. The cars would spin potentially into the right hand side barrier. You used to see it semi-frequently. Nowadays though, in F123, you don't see it as much. I don't necessarily think it's impossible to do. It's just that the cars appear to be more gripped up now than what they were in the past.
Yeah, especially the fact that they're also pretty much near lower to the ground as well. Kind of maybe helps the ground effect, I'd say, going through that particular corner.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it one bit.
Yeah.
It's amazing what kind of stuff Codemasters sort of implement, what kind of intricacies they implement into their games. There's some intricacies that are really quite astounding. And there's others that you kind of wish they hadn't bothered working on, spent so much time on, because it really just kind of feels sort of useless. Ooh, as Pato gets a little wiggle on. Hello.
Hello. That's Roscoe. Turn 5.
He's got a ton of catching up to do too. 5.7 behind.
That's a big ouch.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to lose touch of any sort of battle around Abu Dhabi as well, especially with this sort of configuration.
It's similar in a way to Barcelona from last week. You get these DRS trains that form, and for those drivers in the middle of the pack, it is really difficult to try and make your way through. Additionally, if you make your way out of the pack, let's say you make a mistake like Roscoe did, it's really tough to get it back because the DRS zones here are so long. They have a massive effect on raw lap time. As Arnold's left the session. Hopefully he can rejoin as soon as possible.
Well, at least they're not Vegas long, I guess. At least this track isn't.
Well, that's very true. In fact, that's 3 races in a row, and I'm sure it's going to be 4 races in a row where DRS trains are going to be very noticeable because the final round of the championship takes place at Silverstone. And that's going to have DRS trains because that's a naturally high-speed racetrack.
Yep.
And the DRS zones there are pretty powerful in their own right.
Yeah. Yep, and you can't afford to be out of that pack if you do. Well, goodbye to any whatever hope you had.
Yep.
Pretty much. But I remember Silverstone used to have what, 4 DRS zones, yeah? No, 3 DRS zones. Sorry. They used to have one on the Hamilton straight until they got rid of it because it was too dangerous.
Well, yeah, heading into Abbey probably isn't a great idea with how DRS systems work. If the DRS system failed heading into Abbey,
Yeah, as Marcus Ericsson proved.
Yeah, that's right, at Monza ages ago. What seems like ages ago now.
Yeah, 2018 was it?
I believe so.
Yeah, we had that massive crash.
Because that was also the first year of Alfa Romeo Sauber, which we're also saying goodbye to. Shouldn't ignore that. It's going to be just Sauber now.
Yeah. Crazy to think about.
Oh, if I do remember, I think Alfa Romeo have made some sort of partnership with Haas. I could be wrong.
Yep, Alfa Romeo Haas. That's what they're going to go with.
So they're not going to disappear, they're just changing garages.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Haas won't be complaining because that means more money to them.
Yeah, and it's actual legit money, not rich energy money, so...
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a moment as Paddock goes off the road and gets a penalty for multiple points. He had to go off the track for a little bit of a contact, I think, between him and Apollo.
Yellow's out. What the? It's Matt.
In the middle of the racetrack.
He flick-spinned his way back onto the circuit. I'm guessing he made a mistake out of turn 9, or rather not turn 9, turn 7. And yeah, brought Yellow's out just briefly.
I suppose. Contrast over in T-Mac having themselves a scrap at the final corner.
Oh, I tell you what, T-Mac got that back down the inside of the final corner.
Yeah, I did see that. I also noticed how tail happy the thing was.
Yeah, a bit like the real life car.
Oh, Lando.
Well, he said it himself. So
True.
I'm not berating Lando. Lando's berating Lando. So
That's true.
Here comes a Red Bull with DRS wide open. Will Stevenson go for it? No. He stays behind. Might line up a pass though on the following straight. He may be a bit too far behind actually. 4.5 tenths. It's a fair amount to try and overcome. Yeah, it's too much. Too much.
There was like open and closing his DRS as well, I was noticing, because on the dash they would from green and then would disappear and then green disappear.
Oh, okay, so he was deliberately staying back. He doesn't want to pass just yet.
Yeah. No, he doesn't want to do anything yet.
Good old strategy games.
Mm.
Always interesting to watch, and they always play a part in these DRS train battles. Because that's how the train splits up, is because of the strategies. Matt Plevy retires, he's crashed, and that's resulted in the first safety car of the race. He's done that at turn 13.
At the hotel.
I'm gonna lie, Cody, you don't see that all too often.
Well, in fairness to that area, it is a bit tricky, especially the fact that it's now a bit more elevated when you go underneath the hotel. I remember when the old games used to be flatter, I think.
Well, the AI's come in. It's put on some mediums. I wonder what the rest of the field will do. That leaves the session as well, so... One car down. We've got 12 left. Well, 11 plus 1 AI.
Yeah, Matt Levy was not happy.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in there. I love you, George Bergen, but gee whiz, you need to know Matt Levy's enunciation correctly.
Now, it's not 10. Do they want to pit for mediums?
Jeez. I mean, they could do so. Looks like CZK is going to do it. Yeah, I think everyone's going to do it. Well, then what would that be? They would have to do, like, 17 racing laps? Something like that? Oh, it's got another penalty. Oh, that's a BS. Okay, I've seen this one. Yeah, you can get 3-second penalties randomly when you go into pit lane. This place. Really stupid. That's just a bug, I think.
Yeah, a bug in a Codemasters game? What do you mean? A bug in a Codemasters game? Oh.
I would never hear such a thing.
Hearsay, Your Honour. That's just hearsay. It's not absolute fact.
Fun fact, that bug has been there since the start of the game.
I'm not surprised. It's like the Barcelona pit lane entry glitch thing. Bump. Like, that's still there. They made a fix for it, but then they made it even worse. So they had to undo the update.
Yeah, as I demonstrated that time as well.
I couldn't believe that. You exit the penultimate corner, head down towards the final turn, and then it's like the car just broke apart using the force. It's because you hit this invisible barrier. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I only did that because I noticed that it was happening to a couple other YouTubers or eSport drivers or something like that, experimenting in that little thing.
It shows you they don't properly playtest the updates.
No, they don't.
Because I would reckon you would want to playtest that update to make sure that you hadn't broken something while you tried to fix the game. Clearly, if they did do that, they wouldn't have released the update, but here we are.
They did.
They released the update, it was even worse. So, they had to undo everything. We're going to get back under green flag conditions shortly. We've got CZK at the front of the field. Everyone, including Mr. Arnold's AI, is on fresh tyres. They're all on mediums, bar Pato, who's on a set of hards. He's also the only driver who's got a penalty so far in this race. Onto the main straightaway, we now begin lap 12 of 29. Yeah, we've got a long way to go still. As we head down into turn 1, drivers just having to adapt slightly to the extra grip of those medium tyres as they head up through the S's around turns 2, 3 and 4. Then into the hairpin at turn 5. ACW having a look but not fully committing to a move on Pato, but Pato says, no, don't worry mate. I'll just miss the apex and let you through anyway. That's something else as well I've just picked up on. They haven't fixed the audio in this game either. I just heard cars whizzing past some sort of microphone, even though the cars are about 150 meters away from the camera.
Oh yeah, no, that's been a thing for a while too. That's the 22 bug, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they haven't fixed it.
Yeah. It's funny how it's when we get to the new cars, it's just like you get this sort of problem with the audio.
Yeah.
Oh well, it could be worse. It could be that stupid. Oh god, don't even remind me of this one. Actually, no. I actually remind myself about this one. That audio glitch where it sounded like you were going through a blender.
Oh yeah, that
one.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst
Funsies.
audio. The worst audio I've ever heard in my entire life. Mainly in racing games, but yeah, that was the worst.
Honestly made you want to cut your eardrums out. It was that horrible.
Yeah.
And it
like,
still
what?
ain't fixed.
No. Is that still a thing? I haven't noticed
just
it
audio
too.
issues in general still haven't been fixed.
True.
You'd think after all this time they'd be able to fix such a thing, but they haven't, so I won't ask for them anymore.
Sure.
Now, this leading train battle, not much has happened. We've had a bit of skirmishes further back, that is to be expected, because a few drivers disconnected from this midfield train. They have reconnected though. T-Mac 9/10 behind eye contrast. So we got this midfield train again, led by Big Al. CZK has driven off. He's got 2.3 seconds in hand. And with the performance he's currently having, it would mean that Alfa Romeo stay very much in the fight for the team's championship. So, sparks flying out of turn one then for Big Al. Floor scraping along the tarmac as they head through the S's. DRS should be enabled now. It's been 2 laps rather. Start of the third lap after the safety car, so we should be getting some DRS. Let's have a look. Yeah, DRS should be on.
It will be. Yep. Spicy obviously will get that as well. Close up.
Shuts it too.
And shuts, yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, he shot it from halfway into the straight. He just wanted to wait until the second straight to do it.
The effective way of doing it, I suppose, because passing early, you just give your rival DRS down this straightaway, try and pass you back here into turn 9, so you can wait, let your rival stay in front, and then just power past. Now the goal for Spicy is to try and build up a margin. I don't think he'd be able to break away from Al per se, unless of course Al makes a mistake. So all he can do is just keep steadily building up a margin, try and make sure he can keep Al at bay when they arrive at the DRS zones. And currently he hasn't gained any time. So it appears that Al and Spicy, they might be pretty even in terms of raw lap time speed.
Yeah, and probably for whoever still trying to keep up with them as well. Because still got the train right now from Spicy leading it, and then you got T-Mac on the back of this whole train right now for this midfield scrap.
Yeah, Pato's lost time, hasn't he? He's got 2 seconds between himself and T-Mac. He's got Roscoe on behind, and I'm sure Roscoe will be aiming to try and pass shortly. Al closing the gap. Still got DRS wide open. Will he go for it? No. Again, this is the kind of gamesmanship you expect to see. Roscoe Arm has passed Pato. That was down into turn 6. And we'll see Al pass Spicy, I'd imagine. To the outside. Gets it done. Apollo has a look. Cuts underneath.
Cross.
Not quite.
Yeah, not into the turn 9.
Nice aerial shot here, looking down at the racetrack, heading underneath the hotel
that no one can afford.
that no one can afford. That is right. And onto the main straight. Man, the audio disappears for a while at that camera. Gee whiz. It disappeared so much I could hear the seagulls that are apparently around this racetrack. Well, I'm glad the seagulls are having a great time.
Yeah, at least they get to fly around. Watch this. They get the best seat in the house, pretty much.
Yep. Quite literal bird's eye view of the whole race. Alright, Spicy. I'm going to assume, yeah. Switches off DRS. This is going to be one of those back and forth scenarios. This is very similar to Vegas. Goes back and forth slipstream.
Back and forth, back and forth. Yeah.
He even turns on the overtake just to make sure he can get the job done. He moves back into P2.
One shot.
It really just shows you with Formula One that overtaking just really isn't everything about motorsport.
Yeah.
Everyone says, oh, more overtaking equals better racing. It just, no.
No, it's all about close action, really, too. You should have. But then you have overtaken, and it's like you play these mind games, and it just becomes more and more monotonous, if you want to put the right term for it.
It's just drawn out. Yes, it's very repetitive. We know what's going to happen. That sort of takes away from the entertainment of it all. You sort of have to be left guessing. Will they go for this pass? Will they send it down the inside? When it's just done with DRS, you know what's going to happen. See, Al has to pass here, because if he doesn't pass, he'll let Apollo through. And Apollo, while he's taking advantage of this opportunity, he's going to try and pass Spicy. Spicy is going to put up a bit of a fight, but ultimately has to give in. Now he has Blake on his gearbox. Bags Liddell going to have a go. See, this is more interesting. Will he try and dive bomb? He has a look down the inside. Stevenson defends, trying to push it round the outside, and he's done well, you know. Done real well.
Oh, good. Yeah, good job. Just at least give space. That's the main thing too.
Give space and maintain momentum on the outside. That way he can fire out of turn 9 and hold on to the position. See, that's good racing. We've got two guys pushing real hard, making the best of their relative situations, as Bags almost put himself in a really bad situation. Oh, and running wide, ACW. Hello. And he's low on battery.
Yeah. He went completely off the circuit, from what it looked like. He's got contrast for company, who's got, well, shall we say, a lot more battery than he does.
I tend to agree with you. Both cars will have DRS, but I definitely say the advantage, definitely in high contrast favour.
Yep.
Doesn't go for the move though here at turn number 6. Pato gets Roscoe Arm back, so seems that we might have a bit of a battle on for P10 as well. Polo, will he go for second here? Closes in, but not by enough. He stays behind McLaren, and high contrast, what do you know, gets by ACW.
Yep. Turn 9. Oh, Jordan hasn't even returned to the session yet, too.
Might have not been given an invite. I know I don't have him, so I can't do anything.
Yeah, I don't have him either. Well, I can't do anything either.
So, but who knows with what's happened to Jordan. His race is effectively over and out at this point. Alright. 3.5 tenths the gap between the top two. Will Apollo attack? I think he will have to. Ricey is a bit too close, I think, for Apollo to just stay behind. Although Apollo himself is a bit too far behind Al to really have a proper go, so there we go. Stays in behind, stays in P3 for now.
Smoke coming from the Red Bull.
On the outside goes Apollo. Side by side on the curb. Be careful with that curb.
Doesn't end up in a crash, at least.
It's always nerve-wracking when you notice the car bottoming out. It straightens damn near instantly.
Yeah.
Into the pits.
Fine. Oh, back to Dell. Sorry, run up. Sorry.
What's that about?
So does he not think he can go to the end with these things?
Must do, because he's not getting a front wing change.
Yeah. Yep. Another set of memes. Okay. Interesting.
Guess he's just biting the bullet at this stage. He's saying, look, I could try and perhaps salvage a big result if luck falls in his favour, because I wouldn't be surprised if these guys who are still running, they might get close to puncture territory. Maybe towards the end of the race. And if luck falls in Bags' favour, then maybe it can work out.
Yeah, because they've still got about another 9 or 10 more laps to do on these tires.
Yep, 9.5. So it's a long way.
A long stint, yeah.
But I think the tyres... I don't know. We'll find out. We will find out.
I know Pato will be alright.
He will definitely be alright, yeah.
Yeah, those tires will carry him no problem.
Hey, what, Apollo looking solid out there. P2. 6 tenths in hand to Al. He's built up a margin. He's looking fast.
No, he's looked very fast in this whole session so far, considering how he's been so today. Yeah. Very competitive, Apollo is.
Round at turn 5, the hairpin, and onto the back straight. DRS open on the McLaren. 6.5 tenths behind. Too far behind to try and attack into turn 6. Just try and gain back some lost time. Further back, Roscoe closing in, turning on the battery just briefly. Powers past the Mercedes, takes back 9th. Further ahead, getting up towards turn 9, out around the outside. Pulls it up nicely, hits the apex, and takes 2nd.
Yep, good solid move.
Not bad racing at the moment. Nice back and forth. I suppose the biggest positive is that they've remained pretty clean so far, KD.
Yeah, only thing we've had that's noteworthy is really Plev's crash, and that's about it. Well, Pato's penalty, but I mean that's not really the most major thing to happen, I think.
Yeah, that's sort of just talking about the rubbishness of Codemasters more than anything.
Yeah, really. We've done that for almost about a quarter of the stream at least, talking about rubbish Codemasters is.
Yeah, well, you got to fill in the blank somehow, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Polo's going to get Al back here with relative ease. Will Spicy follow through? No.
Nope. Stay behind.
All 4 of these guys, Venice, have a shot of finishing on the podium, but they need to play their cards right. See, in these kinds of races, although the overtaking is quite predictable, when it comes to crunch time, when we get close to the checkered flag, it's all or nothing. You know, you go for everything you can at that point. As our contrast moves up to 6th and Pato moves up to 9th. See, they're all being cooperative now, but I am curious to see how they'll race each other when there's 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we might see some desperation coming our way.
Absolutely, because you've got to make your opportunities count. Particularly those further back, someone like Stevenson who's in 5th, who's going to have a hard time naturally making his way through because he's at the back of a DRS train and that mistake doesn't help. He's got to make every opportunity count. So if someone in front of him makes a mistake, he's got to be there to try and pick up a place if he can. Try and push himself further towards the front of the train. Give himself the best chance to try and finish on the podium. Right now, yeah, he's a bit stuck in 5th. He's still in with a shot though, as Al moves up into P2. ECW, close, but doesn't fully commit. Apollo, will he take P2 back? He's closing in on the McLaren.
He closes the DRS in the process.
Very well. Stays behind. ACW gets contrast as well. So back up to P6. I reckon these two are going to go back and forth for a bit. And T-Mac is in the fray. Try and finish in the top 6. Right now this is the big battle. We have to keep an eye on the battle for 2nd place. CZK, he has driven superbly. Picked up his first victory of the season last week in Barcelona. Put together a great drive and he's replicating that performance here at Yas Marina. Got a comfortable, very comfortable margin in hand. All he needs to do is keep him mistake-free out there. He should take victory quite comfortably. Down towards the hairpin. Polo will line up the exit of turn 5. A little wiggle from Al. And Polo should retake 2nd place here fairly easily. Down the inside.
Get there. Al just lets him through, but he'll counter that with DRS down the 2nd straight.
4th gear, 5th gear, DRS. Up into 7th. Gap shrinks, but won't be by enough to get Apollo. He'll stay in P3. I contrast will get back by ACW, and Roscoe does the same on Pato. So again, the back and forth battling. Meanwhile, Liddell is catching up as Pato. Well, it took a while, but it happened with 5.5 laps to go. Pato DCs from the session.
Guess it was a matter of time for that to happen.
Guess it was. It's a shame. He put together a pretty decent qualifying. But he just poor timing with the strategy, I suppose, on the mediums at the wrong time.
Yeah, unfortunately. Just a lot of things some things just didn't go his way.
Liddell will pass the AI of Pato and move up into 10th position, and he'll be hunting down Roscoe to try and take 9th. CZK leading the way. He's got Apollo Pepsi in P2, who moves down to P3 because Al moves up to P2.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen next.
Don't know. No idea.
Is it another DRS overtake down towards... No, actually won't be another DRS overtake towards turn 9. Instead, Paulo just says, nah, I'll just stay behind.
Here's a pass around the outside here for T-Mac, trying to take 2 for 1 at turn 9. An audacious attempt. Ultimately fails, but he gains nonetheless. He gains off spot. Moves up into P7. That was gamey right there. Trying to send it around the outside of both of them. Almost worked, but not quite.
Yeah, but still, he was committed.
That's it. That's where you got to be. When you're trying to pass, just Gotta believe in yourself. Believe in the car for a bit. Send it in. Let yourself and the car do the talking. If you play your cards right and you don't do anything stupid, you should come out the other side. Alright. Only a few more laps left in this race. The gamesmanship is going to be dialed up to 11 here. As you can see, Apollo, he switches off his DRS. He doesn't want to pass. How long is he going to stay behind that McLaren? Will he stay behind here as Liddell gets Roscoe arm, who's up to 9th? Apollo, again, just shadowing the McLaren. He's not passing yet. Spicy needs to do himself a favour. He needs to get as close as he can to the back of that Alpine out of turn 7. If Apollo's comfortable turning off DRS, then Spicy needs to be right on his gearbox heading into turn 9 to force Apollo to keep DRS open. Otherwise he could lose a place to Spicy.
Meanwhile, T-Mac got a really nice move around the outside of Contrast at the Harbour. That was actually really nice to see from when I watched it.
He's got margin already, half a second in hand.
Yeah.
6/10. That McLaren's not too bad right now. Oh, Contrast, he'll still have DRS to play with down the next straight. Meanwhile, battle for second. Still ongoing, 3 laps to go. Spicy, a little bit closer this time. Apollo closes in, and this time he goes for the move.
Goes the inside at turn 6, locks up, gets through, and then Al will get DRS. I wonder what will happen on this occasion.
Let's have a look.
Let's find out.
Al's keeping it wide open, and he didn't lift either. No. So Apollo, he has... Well, actually, that reminds me of something I mentioned earlier. He's got some straight line speed in that Alpine. I saw him fly past somebody earlier in the race. I can't quite remember who. But perhaps, maybe, that straight line speed in the Alpine might be just enough. Give him the edge to try and hold on to second. See that gap increase. It's up to 5/10. As we now begin lap 28. 2 laps to go here at Yas Marina.
Good traction there at that final sector. But Al still keeping within touching distance in the first sector. Yeah, he's closed the gap back up by maybe a little less than a 10th and a half. Yeah, he'll definitely be way close enough as he rear locks the car in turn 5. Briefly turned on the battery there, I saw.
Here we go then. What does Al do? Stay behind or go for it? To the outside, on the racing line. Up to second.
Yep.
Oh, Apollo. This is going to be an important decision. Does he go for the pass? Does he stay behind? I think he might try and stay behind, but Spicy's coming.
Spicy's coming.
Contact!
Oh!
And somehow they're still running. I think damage free, but Spicy up to third.
Yeah, Spicy wanted to get going immediately. Well, now he just switched on the battery there down the second straight.
That's what I mentioned it earlier. You had to be careful of Spicy behind. If he was close enough to have a go, he was going to have a go. He had an opportunity and he went for it. We now begin the final lap. Lap 29 of 29 of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The battle for P2 separated by 6.5 tenths, by 7.5. Al's pushing. He's making it count right now. He has an opportunity here, a big opportunity, to try and finish second.
He does. But Spicy will still get DRS down the straight.
And he's got a ton of battery, but so does Al. So it evens out somewhat. But Spicy, he'd be coming at him at a sheer rate of knots. Needs to pull it up here at turn 6. It's vital. He does indeed pull it up. In fact, all 4 cars get through here pretty damn well. Contrast and ACW. We got a 3-car battle on contact aplenty as T-Mac leads this group. Towards the front, though, Spicy, frankly, isn't close enough. Al hangs on to second. But what about the battle for P6? ACW closes in. Contrast closes in. 3-wide action. Through turn 9. They all get through. Oh, not quite! Around goes T-Mac. Collision between himself and Contrast. Meanwhile, around the final corner, CZK will take his 2nd win of the season, winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and it'll be Big Al who finishes P2 in front of Spicy Salami. Apollo Pepsi finishes 4th in front of Stevenson. And then we have ACW by Contrast, and then Bags Liddell finishes 8th after making that extra pit stop.
Oh, Bags definitely didn't have the gamble pay off then.
No, that's for sure. Spicy given driver of the day honours. See his performance in the final results screen. But for now, it's time for the podium celebrations. Another victory then for CZK. The team's championship is definitely not over thanks to his performance. P2 goes to Big Al. P3 to Spicy Salami. The unofficial results then of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have CZK at the top of the board, taking a clean sweep, pole position, fastest lap, and the race win. Fine performance from him then. Big Al, P2, followed by Spicy in P3. Then we have Apollo, Pepsi, Stevenson in 5th. ACW, I Contrast, Bags Liddell, T-Mac, Roscoe Arm rounds out the top 10. Then we have GeForce Pato and Jordan Arnold. Only retirement of the race is Matt Plevy, crashing out at turn 13, causing the one and only safety car of the race. Yeah, it was about as what we expected.
Pretty much.
A lot of back and forth. Bit of drama, admittedly. Especially at the end, with Mr. T-Mac getting spun around there. But some good driving. Interesting racing at moments.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just kind of what you expect out of Abu Dhabi. But think that will wrap up another week, folks. A final congratulations to our top 3. Congrats again to CZK on winning here at Yas Marina Circuit. I think with everything said and done, it's now time for us to wrap up the stream. I've been Lane Everingham, my co-commentator as always is KD1997. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and we will see you next week for the final round of the championship, round 15 at Silverstone Circuit for the British Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.